comforts us in all our affliction, so that we will be able to comfort those who are in any affliction with the comfort with which we ourselves are confronted by God. For just as the sufferings of Christ are ours in abundance, so also our comfort is abundant through Christ. But if we are afflicted, it is for your comfort and salvation, or if we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which is effective in the patient enduring of the same sufferings which we all suffer. And our hope for you is firmly grounded, knowing that as you are sharers of our sufferings, so also you are sharers of our comfort. Thank you. And a short letter from my brother. Unfortunately, I couldn't come to this event, but we'll see him later. Dear Mother, I know I told you I would return after my school here, but I could not. So please forgive me when I held you and said goodbye. I was sincere in my wishes to see you again, but heaven could not wait. You are without pain and in a peaceful place with all of your family thinking about you every day, and God will see to it our good thoughts are with you. I enjoyed planting flowers and building a fountain for you, and I'm sure where you are now you can feel the love that went into it. It was to always remind you of growing up next to Moonbrook with fond memories which I will always have with you in my heart. God granted me the words before you left for heaven. I love you, Mom. And thinking back on my earliest memories growing up with you, you taught me the prayer that started with these words, now I lay me down to sleep. So now you sleep with the angels in heaven. I love you and miss you. Your loving son, Philip. And a few thoughts about my mom, reflect on her life a bit. My mom, Irene Culver Jones, has passed, but not gone in our hearts. She lived life like a spark searching for fuel to ignite. My early memories were of her leaving to shop without me. Boy, was I mad. She returned, and the car was unloaded with food for us all to enjoy. The painful lessons of the big picture began for me. Dinner in our house was quite often a big surprise. The crafting newly found recipes was a simple, enjoyable adventure to my mom. Meat and potatoes were often replaced by exotic fare, such as tofu, rice pilaf, mangoes, yogurt, and even frog's legs. All new for a suburban New York housewife in those days. Many stories take us back to when her spark found a place to light. There are the paintings she made, also decoration of antique wares and furniture, fancy and ornate was the style she learned from her mom. Our home was often a mix of contemporary and classic styles, all of it appreciated in her eyes. As the children got older and the economic cycle turned up and down, Mom wanted to expand herself. She and Dad started Cedar Grove Ceramics. Imagine your basement filled with clay, molds, paints, glazes. She held small informal classes during the day while she and Dad would mold pieces and fire them in our kiln at night. That was our fireside fireplace, was the kiln. Nice and warm. Later that closed and business choices were made. My parents purchased Zeno Basketeria in East Rochester. It wasn't until I saw the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding that I learned we pronounced it all wrong. And Mom thought that was pretty funny. It's Xeno, the Greek word for strange and foreign. That exemplified Mom's love of the world. I worked unloading and inventorying baskets and furniture from all around the planet. All types of utilitarian items like rice cooking baskets and fish traps and all kinds of things for different jobs that we don't do, but people use as decorations for her customers in their houses. But the hard work and skill it took to make them were lost on me as a kid, but not her. She appreciated it. Well, life happened again. Mom and Dad were forced to adapt as well. Dad went to work at the post office. Mom went on the road. It was the 70s going into the 80s. And Mom became a traveling saleswoman. I haven't heard any of those jokes. If you want to tell me later. And this fueled another passion of hers. Talking to people and hearing their stories. She found the simplest of lifestyles and vocations interesting. She loved to hear about farmers, tradesmen, shopkeepers, and more. They were just as interesting as any celebrity and more in her view. If their stories made her laugh, all the better. Whether a granddaughter riding in the car, poking a little fun at her dad, or Dad's cousin Dugan, her favorite comedian, anything that kept her in stitches was great. She loved that. I can picture Mom laughing at one of Dad's dry comedic comments as they cruise around together looking for another sale. Picking through the treasure. Okay, and talking to the many people they met in that search. I think she had a new favorite comedian later in life when they retired. That was Dad. Albeit a dry one. Okay. Mom and Dad's trips together included Florida, into Montana and Georgia to visit family, as well as a flight to Ireland to see Dad's roots. That trip was with her best friends. It was a dream come true for Mom. A country full of simple beauty, history, literature, and dry comedic storytellers, almost heaven. I should almost mention her love of books and magazines, National Geographic, Smithsonian, American history, mixed with historic fiction, and many other titles, informed her and guided her opinions and viewpoints. That printed information, saved for all of us to enjoy, shaped all of us kids to a certain extent, I'm sure. Now, as the years have passed, Mom's vision and concentration became weak. We had to find her something to stimulate her mind a little. Unfortunately, it had to be television. Became a companion, and news became boring to her towards the end. And I had to laugh when I put on the History Channel, as they did a show on the ancient aliens. And she yelled to me from the living room, Kelly, come in here. This is fascinating. Can you believe that? But we did, like my sister said, we mixed that up with the old movie classics that she could relate to. The last two classics were, as my sister said, Rodgers and Hammerstein. And like I said, and like my sister said, after viewing them the last time, she waited her husband to hold her hand. She could bid us goodbye for now. Beautiful passing of a beautiful lady. We miss you and love you, Mom. Thank you for everything we did.
Another passage of the New Testament we hear from Jesus that He will be with us always unto the end of the earth. And how we carry those special people with us always is by the impressions they made on our lives. The impressions we've heard so far and those that will be shared afterwards. Irene loved her artwork, but no more beautiful painting had she painted than that which she painted upon each and every one of your hearts. She did love her ceramics, but no finer goals thrown on her wheel than that container that each one of you carries, in which you bring the love she showed you to the rest of the world. All of you.
everybody should have to go through it, but unfortunately, too many do. Took our great-grandfather, Volk, our grandmother, Culver, and our Uncle Jim before my mother. That being said, the 10 years that she battled it were tough, the last 3 particularly bad, but it was really just a short time in her life. So what we want you to remember is just her youth, her creative passion. She was born an artist. I mean, from a little kid, she was dancing, painting, really wonderful works. Later in life, she took lessons. She took lessons from a lady 2 doors down and 3 doors down. In like a week, they became partners, and very soon she became a primary teacher. And I remember her being subterranean. That's where her studio was, and it started out with painting of tin that Aunt Polly did and Grandma did. Sadly, it was lost with Robin and myself, but we have beautiful pieces to remember her by. And then it was the ceramics. But art and creativity was really the core of her existence. You know, I often wondered if she should have just been an artist holed up somewhere, but instead, she had a great marriage to Dad and 4 kids and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So what we really want you to remember is the wonderful part about her life. And we will all be gathering at Mickey Finn's shortly, and there we have a timeline of her life that we'd all like you to take a look at. There's a painting from when she was in grade school, and then all the way up to some of the things she did towards the end of her life. So that's where we want you to focus on our mother. And please come and help celebrate her life and enjoy yourselves. It really is a celebration. We don't want sadness. We know that she's really in a great place now. And, you know, out of the brain and the body that would held her captive the last couple of years. So thank you all for coming.
The Navajo have a prayer that is shared at memorial services. The prayer is spoken by a holy man, but it is spoken for the one who has passed. And the prayer is given for those that remain. Grieve for me, for I would grieve for you. Then brush away the sorrow and the tears. Life is not over. It begins anew. With courage you must greet the coming years. To live forever in the past is wrong. It only cause you misery and pain. Dwell not on memories overlong. With others you must share and care again. Today we celebrate our lives as well, and how we carry in ourselves that special seed planted. We'll remain here for a short time. Many of you may find comfort in coming forward and standing before these artifacts, and then your celebration afterwards at Mickey Finn's. Share with one another all that Irene has shared with you. Bless you all.